Hello my friends and welcome back to EVE Online with me, Mark from DadX, and we're back with Erikka in her Bellicose in low-sec to do some level 3 missions. Basically the Corp I started doing missions with, I didn't even check, only has level 3 agents in low-sec, but that's okay. We have switched our Bellicose from what you have normally seen, which is rapid light missiles, to heavy missiles with a 47-kilometer range. We're going to be shooting more bigger ships, I think. We've got a restrained micro-warp drive. We've got the very basic fit that we've used even in the Abyss. It is very, very standard. It's all Meta 1 modules apart from the restrained micro-warp drive and the target painter. I do have Tech 2 warriors with me. That was kind of an accident, but I've got them, so we'll use them. It's not going to make a huge amount of difference to our performance, and I've got a little bit of a range of ammunition because obviously depending on what your mission is, you're going to be targeting different ships and therefore different factions. I might not have everything I need, but I've got what I need to get started. So we're in low sec. This area seems to be quite active with the frigate fighting on the faction warfare plexes. I'm going to set my destination right there from the mission screen. This is basically a go and kill them all mission. Short and simple. If you know how these mission rewards compare to the ones you'd be getting in high sec for the same mission, please let me know. I haven't run level 3 missions for so long, I've no idea. So feel free to help me out with that information. So here we are. I've skipped forward to the destination system. You just get the nice blue button, warp to destination. Now your mission location is private to you in that nobody can just warp up to where you are. They're going to have to combat probe scan us down to get our location and come and hassle us. So as long as our D-scan is set to show probes, which I've shown you before, and we D-scan regularly, whenever there's somebody else in local, we should be safe as houses. If we don't like the look of anything, or we can see probes getting closer to us on the D-scan, we can just warp away, come back later. That's the plan. Right, so we're just going to land on grid here. And we're just going to start locking everything up. Now the basic plan is we've got the heavy missiles that are going to hit the cruisers out to 47 kilometers. And we've got our flight of drones that can take care of the smaller ships. And they can be controlled out to 40 kilometers. The target painter, as we will see, is very useful. And remember, the target painter is bonused on the Bellicose, as is the explosion velocity of the missiles it fires. This basically means that the heavy missiles and the heavy assault missiles that it can use will apply to smaller ships much better. The target painter increases the signature radius of the target. The explosion velocity means even if the ship's moving quite quickly that you're firing at, the explosion will hit it more, to put it very basically. So yeah, it makes it very versatile, and with 5 drones, it's interesting to see how this might match up against the Caracal. They're very similar yet quite different. So I've used one cycle on the micro-warp drive just to pull range away from the rats a little bit so they can't even get in on me, and you can see how little damage we're actually taking. I'm kind of sticking with the plan. I'm playing with the target painter on some of the smaller ships. There are a couple of thrashers out there, and I did one hit it with my heavy missiles with the target painter on there, which was very efficient, and I liked it. The Bellicose also gets a rate of fire bonus for rapid light missile launchers, the heavy assault missiles and heavy missiles, but not regular light missile launchers, note. So all done. Don't forget to get the drones in that were making a rare appearance on my overview there. We've zoomed straight back. We're handing in the mission. Now if you're in a fleet, which I happen to be because I was out with Yetfar doing a bit of belt jumping earlier, lost a thrasher to a guy called Disco Biscuit who caught me completely off guard. In fact, not at my keyboard. So yeah, my thrasher was lost, but that's okay. Again, it was paid for. I've split the reward with my fleet mate there. You do get the option when you're in a fleet of whether to split the loot with them or not if it's your mission. And running some missions with a mate could be a good way of getting used to how to use the fleet interfaces, etc. and follow the orders of your FC. Anyway, the next mission is very specific. We have to locate a repair station and destroy it. It's in the same neighbouring system. The rewards are a good bit higher than the last mission, so I'm expecting a slightly tougher time. But the key thing here is to remember, we've got to kill that repair station and probably just leave. Let's see how we're doing. Now obviously if you were in a battle cruiser, which I know some people like to use for their tier 3 missions, sorry, level 3 missions, you might be able to sit around on sites and kill all the rats. I'm not really sure if that's a good use of time. I'd certainly rather here in low sec get in, get the job done and get out. And if I can get away with doing it with a cruiser, it's a quicker ship to get around space in, it's a quicker ship to bug out in. It's a little bit less of a juicy target for the guys that might want to come and pay you a visit to come and see. So as soon as we start hitting the repair station, we've got all kinds of rats spawning. We are just going to ignore them. We've also got status web towers out there, which are slowing us right down. We just stay focused. I do mess around with the drones a little bit, just take out a couple of the smaller ships that come in close. But the key here is not to get distracted. If you start thinking, oh, I'll take down those status towers, I'll take down those ships, they're the ones that are hurting me. No, just crack on, kill the repair station. Now, because I'm being kept so slow by those status towers, and because the rats are therefore closing range, over the course of this, the damage is going to ramp up. To mitigate that, I could either overheat the launchers to kill the repair station a little bit quicker, or I could overheat the invulnerability field. That would increase the resistances, and remember, those mid-slot modules overheat very slowly, but if you're not used to overheating, just be careful you don't burn anything out. But anyway, there you go, we've got an alarm, we're into armour, but we're done, we're dusted, and we're on our way out. Don't forget your drones. So we're back in the station, a little bit of repairing to be done to that armour, 79,000 ISKs worth to be exact. Not a big deal, but as I said, we're also, bear in mind, we're running a very minimum fit. I do have good skills. I've got level 4 Minmitar cruiser, I've got the shield skills pretty much as high as an alpha can get them. So one way, if you've got slightly lower skills, that you could mitigate that is obviously by putting some different modules on the ship, and we will upgrade it once we get to missions where it looks like we're going to need to. I'm checking the standings just to really get a measure of the rewards we're getting for the missions and how hard they are. Obviously, unfortunately, being an alpha, I'm never going to unlock a level 4 mission agent. So doing level 3 missions as an alpha is not a grind because you're never getting anywhere. It's very much a choice. Anyway, the next mission, again quite a specific one. We got to rescue some prisoners by destroying the pen that they're being held in. It's only one jump away again to minimise the low sec travelling. We've got a cargo capacity warning, which is very nice. You never used to get those, so you're obviously going to have to take some cargo out. We're carrying a lot of missiles, so I'll take some missiles out and we'll have room for the prisoners when we've released them. So this is going to be another smash and grab mission. We're not going to dwell on killing all the rats. I've checked around some of the wrecks, certainly on that first site where I did kill everything, and there's no loot of note. In low sec, I really don't think it's worth hanging around to loot and salvage on these sites. You may wish to do so in high sec. That's completely your choice. Anyway, now we've got enough room for the prisoners that we've got to go and rescue. We'll only take the Nova ammo with us. We'll be on our way. I think so far I'm finding these level 3 missions quite a good way potentially just to try out a fit, especially if it's a new ship to you or you're quite new to the game, because the techniques that we're using here on these missions and the way their objectives are varied is the way you're going to have to deal with different combat sites that are going to give you much more loot than you're ever going to find on these here missions. But anyway, here we are. There's the slave pen, so we've got to destroy that. We're also going to have to get within 2,500 meters to grab the slaves out of it once it's destroyed, and we've got 4 Blood Raiders cruisers trying to stop us from achieving that goal. So we don't really need to interact with the cruisers any more than possible. Again, I put drones on one of them. I'm just kind of testing this bit and how flimsy the rats are, etc, etc. You know me. Every run is a little bit of a laboratory. So the slave pen is down. We've just got to get in close and actually get the slaves out of the wreckage. We'll take on one of these cruisers, but it's not really an objective again. We haven't got the right missiles. We should be putting out EM damage with the Molnir missiles against the Blood Raiders. We should keep an eye out for the missions and who it is we're going to be fighting. Make sure we've got the right missiles. I haven't got any Molnir missiles yet. We might need to pop to the shops. And nothing too scary on the incoming damage front this time, so the armour and the repair bill is safe. So there you go. Another mission done, handed in. I think we'll keep all the loot for ourselves this time. The loyalty points are stacking up. We'll have to get back to the LP store at some time. All of the chips, the implants that I bought when I was doing the level 2 missions sold for a nice price, so that worked quite well. Anyway, we've requested a new mission, and it looks like the reward is 2.5 million-ish, and we're going to need some EM missiles for sure. And while we were grabbing more ammo, I grabbed some more modules. So we've stuck with the meta-free launchers and the restrained micro warp drive to get ourselves some more hit points. I've gone for 2 of the large restrained shield extenders. That gives a bit more hit points. It also reduces the flare on our signature radius from having those fitted. I'm short on CPU on this fit, which is why I've had to jiggle around a bit. I can't fit the Tech 2 extenders. They just won't possibly fit. They use way too much CPU. That is the problem with going to Tech 2 heavy missile launchers for an alpha. I have level 4 heavy missile skill. Getting on Tech 2 heavy missile launchers will mess up this fit completely, so I don't mind sticking to the meta launchers at all. And we really don't need them from these missions, to be honest with you. I have switched out the scoped target painter for a compact one to save a little bit more CPU. Everything else is the same. I have also got some Tech 1 acolytes, so they're going to be putting out some EM damage for us. And it isn't really that much more expensive with the upgrades we've given it. That's not accurate, that figure there. We probably spent about another 2.5 to 3 mil on the fit, but we've made that in the missions that we've run. And we've given ourselves a little bit more breathing space for applying the right damage, so we're good to go. So just another quick check on the mission. What have we got to do? We've got to kill them all. So let's go do that. So off we go, heading into the mission. See what we find this time. We've got local to ourselves. Do not forget we're in low sec. We must not forget that. Someone comes in local, we pop up that D-scan, start checking. Right, we've got an acceleration gate to get through on this mission. I assume we've got to kill everything before we can do so, as is usual. We've got 3 cruisers, a selection of frigates and a destroyer. So usual plan, we'll get the missiles and the target painter on the cruisers, and we'll just leave the drones to get on with the smaller ships and see how we get along. Basically, I'm pretty sure these cruisers are a little bit tanky and can put up some reps on their armour, but we'll keep an eye on that. And now I'm settled in. I've actually just set an orbit on the acceleration gate here, 15 kilometers. Seems the easiest thing to do here. There's certainly not anything here that's worrying me. Just let the guys get on with the work, really. I've had absolutely no aggro on the drones whatsoever so far in these missions either, I can report back. So I don't know if I'm getting a little bit lucky there, or that just isn't really something that the rats on these missions really tend to do. And once the last rat's down, remember to pull in your drones. We can take as much time as we want before we go through the next gate to let our shields cap recharge. We've got some company in local, so the D-scan is up and operating. So I'm just going to linger at the gate. Let's get a little bit of shield back. Keep on hitting that D-scan just to see what's about. Remember, it's probes, combat probes specifically we are looking out for. No one can find us unless they probe us down. Right, so I think we're all set and good to go. Nothing much in local apart from a heron, quite a new character. I'm feeling a little bit safe. Activate the gate and off we go into the second room. Right, we've got sentry towers in here. They're going to be a little bit nasty and they're going to apply constant damage to us until we've killed them. So they're our priority target. We'll use the drones on the small stuff in and around us. We're going to burn away and pull range and overheat the shield hardener until we get this incoming DPS under control. I've actually overdone it a little bit there and swung out of our missile range. The drones are still keeping in the fight. We'll just swing back in and start reapplying DPS. And I think we're in control here. It's just a question of working our way through this crowd, I think. Now just keeping a little eye on D-scan just in case that heron throws out the combat probes, because you most definitely can fit an extended probe launcher on a little heron. I've shown you how to flick the fits, haven't I? Catch people out. This site, we're tanky, we've got the right damage, we've overheated a little bit and pulled range when the damage comes into intensity. That is a key thing to learn in EVE if you're very new to this kind of thing. If it's getting too hectic, you can either A, just warp away, because you shouldn't ever die on these sites, because nothing can keep you there till you die. Or you just use the micro warp drive to fly straight away from the rats until you're not taking any damage from them. Even if you go out of your missile range, that's okay. You're not running on a timer. You just start approaching again and start again. But they're all gone. They're all dead. We never got below half shield. All the drones are happy. And the job is done. And the guy that was in local in the Heron has actually recognised me from the videos, from the YouTube, and said hello, which is very nice when you do that. So a shout out to you, mate. Crispin, good on you for getting out here in your heron into low sec and making nice loot, I hope. Hope to see you again. So that's us done for now. I think I'll carry on with some of these level 3 missions. Guys, let me know your level of interest. I can carry on going in the Bellicose until I maybe need to switch to a battle cruiser, although I'd rather not do that out here in low sec. We'll see how we get on, but for now this is how I'm approaching my level 3 missions here in low sec. You can tell me if the rewards are any better here than they are out in high sec, because I just don't know, as I said. But for now, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this and found it useful. Leave it a like if you have, please, because it really helps out the channel. Subscribe if you want to stay in touch. Any comments or suggestions, and definitely feedback about whether you want to see more of this mission running, would be very much appreciated. There's lots going on. I've spent all afternoon today trying to find a wormhole into some of the Triglavian systems that now exist. I'll be back as soon as I do. I'll be back anyway. But for now, remember, even is believing, fly brave, take care of yourself and each other, and goodbye.